everyone, Sandeep this side. So welcome to this Helm MCP Server demo. So if you have followed me, then this Helm MCP Server I have released long back ago, but the demo part was still missing. So finally got this time after the successful release of CI Autopilot. So now is the time for the demo. Okay. One question may arise that what is the need of this Helm MCP Server? So have you not found this MCP server online, or someone hasn't yet written this MCP server? I have tried to search this on Google, but I haven't found the extensiveness which I was looking as part of a Helm functionality. If you'll recall, on the Kubernetes agent, so it needs to talk to Kubernetes via various flow. So the workflow can be anything. It can be like installing some services on Kubernetes cluster. It can be upgrading the existing service via Helm, or it can be updating certain parameter via Helm CLI. So these are the things which I was looking for, and this is why it enforced me to write a separate Helm MCP server, so which is part of the TalkOps MCP suite. Coming back to this demo, so the way which I have organized this demo, I have segregated this demo into 3 parts. Okay, so the first part I will basically walk through regarding the theory, what are the various tools or the workflows which is part of this MCP server, what are the various resources which is getting exposed by this MCP server, the prompts. But the second part will be the configuration, where I will be showing on the demo how one should install this MCP server in their local machine. And the third part will be the fun part. That's the real magic which everyone is waiting for, the real demo. Coming back to architecture, so an MCP client which can be cloud, or in my case I will be using Gravity, or in some scenario I will be using Cursor. Okay, so the MCP client needs to connect to MCP server via MCP protocol. Okay, and as I have already mentioned that there are certain tools specific for discovery, installation, validation, and Kubernetes and monitoring specific one. Okay, then there are certain resources which has been exposed. So these resources, so when the agent requires some kind of context regarding the live cluster information, that part has been already exposed via this Helm resources. Okay, then behind the scene, all the tools, the backend logic is getting written via the service layer. Okay, so you will find a service layer corresponding to Helm service, where all the Helm related logic is written. Then you will find a corresponding layer for Kubernetes service. In order to perform certain operation on Kubernetes via kubectl command, you need some kind of logic, right? So that is part of this KTS service. Then there is validation service, so this monitoring part. So whatever the tools which is there in this monitoring set, so all the logic is there on the validation service. Okay, and externally it will be using kubectl and the Helm CLI. Okay, and eventually this Helm CLI will be contacting to the Kubernetes cluster. So this is how this Kubernetes architecture looks like. On the configuration side, or the quick start, I will cover on the second part. So let's cover the available tools. So as I have already mentioned that there are certain specific tools corresponding to perform certain operations. So there is discovery tools, right? And these are 3 tools which is part of this discovery set. Okay, so there is this Helm search chart. Okay, so this tool is specifically to search third-party Helm chart which is located into different repository. Okay, then if you have got some information regarding that chart, then you need the chart information, right? So Helm get chart info will be going to help you. Okay, and there is some scenario where in the Kubernetes cluster you want that repository to be enabled, the Helm repository, the third party. So for this one you have to use this tool in order to ensure a Helm repository has been enabled. Then only then you will be able to search and get chart information, or you will be able to install it. Okay, so this is the discovery set. So coming back to this installation and lifecycle tools, so there is this Helm install chart, okay, which installs a particular chart to the Kubernetes cluster. Then there is a Helm upgrade release. So if you want to upgrade the previous release with a different version with different values, then this upgrade release tools is going to help you. Then there is comes this Helm rollback release. So if you want to roll back certain release to previous version, then tool is going to help you. If you want to uninstall it, then this tool will come into picture. If you want to perform any dry run install before installing any chart, then this tool is going to help you. Okay, and this is the example. Then comes this validation part. Okay, so once you have installed the chart, then you need to validate, right? Or before installing, you need to validate certain values corresponding to a chart. Okay, so this set of tools is going to help you. Helm validate values, Helm render manifest. Okay, then if it has been successfully rendered, then you have to validate that manifest as well. And in order to upgrade something, you need to check the dependencies, whether the dependency has been successfully fetched or not. Then comes this Helm get install plan. Okay, and you will find this example prompts as well. In order to perform certain operations on the Kubernetes cluster, I need certain tools, right? Okay, so to get the cluster information, so that whether the chart is compatible to that cluster is not, so you will get via this Kubernetes get cluster. If you want to list namespaces, whether this namespace is there or not before installing any chart, then you will get this via Kubernetes list namespace. If you want to list context, so this MCP server comes with certain features. Okay, so on the fly you can change the context as well. So let's suppose at a given time you are connected with the dev cluster, and now you want to change the context to staging one. Then you have that functionality, right, via Kubernetes set context. And if you want to get some information regarding releases, then you can get through this Kubernetes get Helm releases. Okay, after this, so let's suppose you have uninstalled, installed, you have upgraded certain, you need some kind of mechanism which will update the agent or the client saying that hey, the install or whatever the operation which the agent has asked for, that thing has been done, and this is the end result. So this Helm monitor deployment and get release status is going to help you. So this is how the tools look like. So there are 22 tools which has specific functionalities. Okay, so apart from tools, there is this resource and prompts. So let's cover the resource section. Okay, so on an average, the resource is kind of a context whenever the agent needs certain information. If that information is available as a resource, then it can dynamically fetch depending upon the scenario. So let's suppose at a given time an agent wants to look at the releases, what are the available releases which is part of that specific cluster. Then dynamically it has that context via Helm releases resource. Okay, if the agent wants to get certain information for a particular release, then that information will be available via this endpoint, Helm release and the release name. Okay, if the agent wants to get certain information regarding any chart, okay, so that information will be available as Helm chart. Okay, if the agent wants to get information regarding the chart metadata, when I say chart metadata, that means the values, the schema, metadata, so it can get via this resource. Okay, and agent, let's suppose I'm planning to install some third-party Helm chart, and via my agent wants to get the information regarding the readme as in what is the value, the schema, what is the prerequisite which needs to be fulfilled. If it is written in the readme, then I need those information, right? So as soon as the user has asked for installing the given chart, then agent can dynamically go and fetch this readme. It will be available as part of that installation journey, and whenever it will fill, then it can get those readme. And I will show you how this information is getting utilized while I will be going to demo the Kubernetes agent, right? So there is another resource known as cluster info. So it's basically the Kubernetes cluster information and what are the namespaces. And also there is this Helm best practices, which I have copied this best practices uh, guide from the existing official Helm's website. Okay, so this is how the tools, resources and prompts looks like. Okay, this is it for this demo, and I will see you on the configuration demo. Okay, bye.